Good morning, everyone. Our theme today is one that's close to the heart. Unleash your inner creator. We're going to tap into your everyday innovation and your joyful expression. That's right, I'm talking to you. So make sure you are here because you are creative, believe it or not.
Welcome to the Sunday Morning Club, the place where we battle burnout and brew up bold ideas, preferably over a steamy cup of coffee. I'm Faye Chappell, and I'm your ringleader for these re-energizing Sundays. If you're ready to crack the code on resetting your mindset, rebooting your goals, and laughing a little along the way, well, you're in the right place. So let's dive in.
Good morning and welcome to the Sunday Morning Club. So grab your journal, maybe even some colorful pens if you're feeling adventurous. Take a sip of water, sip of your coffee or your tea, settle in, and let's get started to awaken and to celebrate the amazing creator that actually lives inside you. I'm Faye Chappell, and here we are. It's Sunday morning. So let me ask you a question. When you hear the word creative, what comes to mind? Perhaps famous artists or groundbreaking inventors or incredibly talented musicians, right? We often put creativity on a pedestal, right? We think it's special and it's reserved for just those select few. But what if I told you that creativity is a fundamental human trait and it can be as natural to us as breathing? So think about it. As children, we were all masters of imagination, right? We built fantastical worlds out of cardboard boxes and turned mud into pies, right? We told these wild, wonderful stories. That creative spark, that desire to explore, to express, to make something new, it's still within us. But sometimes as we grow up, life experiences, self-doubt, or that fear of not being good enough can obviously that can dim that light that we used to have in us. So what we want to do is we want to reconnect with that innate creativity that's just really about producing masterpieces, right? It's masterpieces for ourselves. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean this big Michelangelo painting. It means it could be about problem solving in our daily lives, from figuring out a new recipe to finding like a clever solution at work, right? It's about really expressing our unique perspectives and finding joy in simple acts of making and feeling more alive and engaged with the world. Because when we tap into our creativity, we unlock possibilities. We reduce stress and we add this huge, vibrant layer of meaning and fun to our existence. So today, we're on a mission to kindly, gently coax that inner creator back into that sunshine. We want to remind ourselves that creativity is for everyone, for every single day. It's about progress, not perfection, right? Expression, not exhibition. So, let's tap into that creative energy right now with a little interactive spark, okay? So, I want you to think about it. What did you create? Think about this past week. And in what small ways were you creative or innovative? It doesn't have to be like a formal art project. It could be, did you find a new route to work? Did you arrange flowers in a vase? Did you wake up with a fun game to play with your kids or your pet? Did you write a thoughtful email? Did you make a delicious meal? Maybe you experimented with ingredients. Did you solve a tricky little problem at home, fixing a computer problem, a tech issue, right? Take a moment to acknowledge one of those little micro creations that you did this week, okay? And I want you to share it with your journal. So you can share it in the chat if you prefer, or you can share it with your community. But I want you to share one micro creation from your week, or again, just jot it down in your journal. And let's celebrate these everyday acts of ingenuity, I guess, right? And expression, right? Really, you want to say, look, I did it. I solved that tech glitch, right? That was total innovation. You didn't know what you were doing, but you solved it. When you solve problems, that's creativity and that's innovation. So let's play a little what if game. Let's do a quick little playful brain warm up, okay? So I'm going to name a common object. And in your journal or in your mind, it's okay, whatever you prefer, I want you to quickly list three unusual or imaginative uses for it. So I'm going to give you an example. You can take a paper clip and you can say, this could be an emergency earring hook, right? Or a tiny catapult, or it could be a lock pick for a dollhouse. So that's what I'm trying to get you to think of. Your object is a sock. So go ahead. Forrest, what else could you use with a sock for? What could you do with a sock? So I want you to just think of a couple little creative things that you could do with the sock. It could be anything, right? It could be I'm going to use it as a mitt because it's cold out. Right? I'm going to use it to store all my dice and make it into a little bag. I'm going to use it as a bracelet. I'm going to tie it around my wrist. Whatever you think, I want you to think of three creative things you can do with that sock. Now, I know you're going, this is a little ridiculous on Sunday morning, but what I'm trying to get you to do is understand that when you are creative, it's not about forcing things, it's about just being silly and ridiculous. And sometimes something cool will come out of it, right? We're all born with that incredibly big capacity for creation and innovation. But what happens? Why do many of us feel disconnected from our creative sides? And there's a lot of common culprits, right? What I like to call creativity extinguishers, for lack of a better word. Number one is there's fear of judgment. What will people think? And this is a big one. They worry about criticism, ridicule, or simply not being good enough. And that can paralyze us before we even start. We self-censor our ideas and our expressions. So that could be one of them. Two is perfectionism. We've all done it, right? The all or nothing trap, right? If we can't do it perfectly, we don't do it at all. And the pressure for a flawless, fantastic outcome really kills the joy of all that experimentation and that willingness to make mistakes, right? Which is really crucial for creativity. The only way to move forward is to make those mistakes, right? Or what about that I'm not creative label? I hate labels. It's the same label that many of you were using when you said I'm not a morning person, right? But you've never really given yourself a chance. So when you say I'm not creative, somewhere along the line, perhaps a critical comment came from a teacher or a comparison with someone else, right? That led us to believe we don't have a creative gene. And this is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? We might have saw somebody great at art and we weren't, and we said we are not creative. Well, I'm not a great artist, but I'm a really great creative. I am really great at figuring out new ideas, new avenues. I'm always looking at cool new things to do. That's my creative piece. You might be creative in cooking, in sports, in anything you can possibly think of. So the I'm not creative label, nah, not so much anymore. Then there's that busyness and stress. I don't have time or don't have energy to be creative, right? We have packed schedules and we have very high stress lives. And that can leave very little room for that playful exploration that creativity thrives in, right? And we prioritize really that urgent, right? That urgent over the important work of nurturing that inner creator, right? So we just say, we don't have time to be creative. We just got to get through the day. But even a little bit of time devoted makes a difference. And sometimes it's kind of like a lack of input or a lack of inspiration. And creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum, right? If we're not feeding our minds with new experiences, new art, new nature, conversations, learning, then our ideas have a tendency of drying up. So we really want to make sure that we expose ourselves to many different things so we know that we have the opportunity to think outside the box, right? And we also, I think we've been brought up, at least in the Western world, It's that right answer conditioning, right? Much of our traditional education system focuses on finding that one correct answer, which can really stifle divergent thinking, right? The ability to explore many possible solutions is really a cornerstone of creativity. That's where it comes through. But here's the fantastic news that these are really learned habits or external pressures. They're not fixed personality traits. So we can rekindle that spark by consciously challenging those extinguishers, right? By creating space for our creativity to really breathe and to flourish. So I'm going to give you a longer quote today because I really liked it, and it's from a dancer and a choreographer, and her name was Martha Graham, and she said, let me get this right, there is vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all of time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and it will be lost. No pressure there, right? But it's so beautiful. It's basically saying your unique expression matters. It is unique. If you don't put it out there, no one will ever hear it. No one will ever know it. And your time here is limited, right? So what we want to do is create that expression. So let's grab your journals and let's do a little bit of an exercise. Let's do an uncovering kind of your creative fingerprints, right? So I want you to really think about this. So let's think about first. Let's think about childhood, creative joys, right? So I want you to travel back in your mind to your childhood. What did you love to do that felt creative, playful, expressive? Did you build forts? Did you draw? Did you sing? Did you make up stories? Did you explore nature? I want you to really take things apart and see how they worked, right? So list 2, 3, 5, whatever you can think of. And then beside them, I want you to really think about how did those activities make you feel, right? How did they make you feel? I loved to write. That was my thing. Always loved to write. I wrote poems and stories and expressions. It really was mainly how I was feeling at that moment. And I used to write all the time, and I don't know where it went. All of a sudden, I think, as far as I can remember, I think somebody read something one day that I wrote and they made fun of it. And after that, I stopped writing. And I didn't pick that up again until I was, I guess well into my 30s or 40s at the time, because I really had sort of pushed it down. So, what did you do? Did you build forts? Did you climb trees? Did you go for bike rides, explored nature? Did you tell stories? Were you telling jokes? Did you make people laugh? What was it? And how did you feel? I know when I was writing, it really, I felt my self-worth. I felt that that was my calling, and I didn't really know it at the time, but really try to think of 3 to 5 and how it made you feel. Okay. Number 2 is I really want you to identify your creative curiosities that exist now, right? So forget about talent or practicality for a moment. What creative activities or skills are you curious about as an adult, right? Did you want to learn a new instrument? Do you want to learn to write? Do you want to garden? Do you want to code? Do you want to cook exotic foods? Do you want to learn photography? Do you want to learn to dance? Do you want to do flower arranging or woodworking? What is it that you've always wanted to do, no matter how old you are, right? It doesn't matter how old you are. I grew up in the city and I can't swim. I can float and tread water enough, maybe for a few minutes, and I can't. But it is now on my list. It's a creative process for me, but I said I one day in the near future, and I'm hoping it's soon, I want to learn to be able to swim. So, what is it with you. It doesn't matter how silly or out of reach it is, right? Maybe it's cake decorating. Maybe it is, I want to learn to build websites. What is it that you would love to do if you had the time and you knew that you could actually learn it? Doesn't matter. You don't never ever say to yourself, "Oh, I could never do that." That's out of the realm of our thinking. So give yourself a little bit of time and list 3 things that you would love to do creatively. So I'm just looking over my wall and there is a guitar and a ukulele hanging there, and that was for the kids. And I've always thought about it. It's not been a huge thing, but I always think I stare at it all the time and I go, I should learn to play one of those things. And maybe that's going to be on my list. So, what is it for you, no matter what your age is? And now I want you to, number 3 is take one tiny creative step this week. This week. So I want you to look at those lists and what is one very small, low pressure way that you can invite a little more creative expression or exploration into your life this coming week. So you can like doodle for 5 minutes on a call, for example, or you can take a different route on your walk and you can notice new things, right? You can start humming a new tune, listen to new music, or write one sentence of a story, just one to start it, right? Or you can look up a tutorial for that skill you're curious about. You know, the 2 things that I love, my favorite thing creatively is to learn. I love to learn. And I love to learn unique things that have nothing to do with my business or what I'm doing. So I have memberships to several different learning documentary style memberships, and I learn all new things about different things in the world that really I probably would never use, but I'm really fascinated by it, and that really sparks my whole creative process. So I want you to really commit to one tiny step, and I want you to write down when you might do it. So maybe you want to do something on Wednesday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And maybe you did want to learn to play guitar. So maybe you are going to go to YouTube and find a tutorial on the basics, a basic understanding of which string is which on a guitar. That's a start. And even if you only give yourself 30 minutes or 5 minutes, it is a start to really revitalize your creativity and what you want to do. So if you've discovered a childhood joy or a surprising curiosity, I want you to really hone in on it and maybe share that. Again, if you're part of our community, share it in the community. If you want to comment, I would love to hear from you. But I really want you to think about it as we move forward. What is it that you can do, right? So let's kind of reinforce that with a little bit of an affirmation and manifestation, right? So let's think about being a creative being, wonderful reflections. Let's think about solidifying that creative energy. So I want you to close your eyes and find a soft gaze if you don't want to close your eyes completely, whatever is comfortable for you. And I want you to take a breath in, filling yourself with that possibility. And as you exhale, I want you to release all those doubts. And I want you to repeat these affirmations, right? And I want you to feel them light up your inner world. So I'm going to ask you to repeat all of these, and then you're going to pick one during the week to make sure that you continue to say it. So let's start with, I am naturally creative and resourceful. That's a very simple one. I'm naturally creative and resourceful. My unique ideas and expressions have value. You know, with manifestation, the more you repeat things, your brain interprets what you say as your reality, right? So the more, if you give yourself negative talk, I'm not creative, then you're not going to be creative. But if you start giving yourself positive talk, that flow will come. So I give permission to play, to explore, and experiment without judgment. It's a great one, right? I give myself permission to play, explore, and experiment without judgment. Creativity flows through me with ease and joy. That's a great one, right? I embrace mistakes as stepping stones to innovation, right? And every single successful person will tell you they needed to make mistakes and fail until they got to the place they wanted to be. I make space for creative expression in my daily life. My inner creator is alive and it's vibrant. So take 3 more expansive breaths. Imagine that spark of creative energy really glowing brighter and brighter within you. And I want you to feel it, feel ready to express itself, right? So I want you to gently open your eyes. I want you to think about any of those manifestation affirmations. I want you to take it or make your own, but I want you this week, we're focused on creativity. So I really want you to feel it. So let's do a little bit of breath work. And let's do, we're going to call it Idea Spark, right? And it's the alternate nostril breathing. We've done it before, but I want you to try it again. So sometimes to get fresh ideas, we really need to balance our energy. That's why we're doing the breathing, right? So we're going to do a simplified version of the alternate breath, alternate nasal or nostril breathing, which is really about is to balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, right? So we're fostering clarity and creativity. And here's how we're going to do it. You take your right hand and you can gently close your right nostril with your right thumb. Okay? Right nostril, right thumb. Now I want you to inhale slowly and deeply through that left nostril. So inhaling. And now I want you to close your left nostril with your right finger, ring finger. Release this side and exhale through the right nostril. Right? Now inhale through your right nostril and reverse. Exhale through your left. That's one round. Let's do it again. Inhale, reverse, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now take a few normal breaths, right? Notice if you feel more balanced and clear, perhaps even have new ideas percolating. The breath is a wonderful way to shift perspectives. We have been working over the past few weeks on breathing. Every single class we do on Sunday mornings, we work on our breathing, right? And our breathing make masses of change. So when we are again using both sides of the brain and we're breathing properly, we're hoping to get new direction. So it is again one of the ways to, if you know you want to be creative and you want to spark ideas and you're trying to change your patterns, then go ahead and go to that breathing exercise anytime you want during the day. Okay. So let's now move that into a little bit of a guided meditation, right? So again, sitting comfortably, close your eyes. Begin by bringing your awareness to your breath, allowing it to be natural and easy. We're not doing nostril breathing, we're just breathing easy. And now imagine that you are walking towards a special place, a place that feels incredibly safe. It's welcoming and it's inspiring. And this is your creative sanctuary, right? It could be a cozy art studio filled with light, or a vibrant garden and it's buzzing with life. It could be a library with lots of ancient books for those of us who love to read. It could be a workshop that's filled with interesting tools, right? Or any place that your imagination conjures up. And as you approach the entrance, you feel that real sense of excitement and peace. You're so excited and you step inside and you look around your sanctuary, and what do you notice? You notice the colors and the textures and the objects. What sounds do you hear? Is there a particular scent you smell? This place is designed perfectly. It's perfect for you to nurture your unique creativity. Okay? In the sanctuary, there are no expectations, there are no judgments, there are no deadlines. There's only freedom to explore, to play, and to dream. And you might find materials there, paints or clay, or words or music or ideas, anything you desire to express yourself. And perhaps you feel drawn to pick something up, to start tinkering or doodling or writing or humming, or simply sitting and letting ideas flow. I want to give yourself permission to engage in whatever creative impulses arise, or you can simply rest in this inspiring atmosphere, right? Knowing that your creative well is being refilled. I want you to really feel the joy of effortless expression, the delight of curiosity, the peace of being fully by yourself, enjoying your space. This is your space. It's your space to connect with your authentic creative voice, right? Know that you can return to this inner creative sanctuary anytime you wish, simply by closing your eyes and setting that intention. It is always available to you. So I'm going to take a few more moments to soak in that creative energy of this space, your space. Think about it. Now, with a feeling of really renewed inspiration and joy, I want you to gently bring your awareness back, right? Back to your body, back to your room, right? And when you're ready, I want you to take a deep, energizing breath and slowly open your eyes. And I want you to carry that magic of that sanctuary with you wherever you are at any time of the day, okay? So I want to continue getting your creative juices flowing through your body. And this is all about joyful, expressive movement from your seat, right? No right or wrong. We're just going to have a little bit of fun. So I want to do some little idea sparks or finger wiggles, right? And wrist circles. So I want you to extend your arms out, and I want you to wiggle your fingers like little sparks of light. Just wiggle your fingers. Is the camera catching me? I hope so. Wiggle your fingers, right? And now make gentle fists, just gentle, don't clench, and then circle your wrists one way, and then another way, right? And then the other way, and then just shake it off. Shake them off, right? We're just getting our hands moving, right? Now I want you to draw in the air. We're going to do arm sweeps. So imagine your fingertips are your paint brushes or your magic wands, right? And I want you to reach one arm up, and I want you to draw a big sweeping circle in the air in front of you. Circles, zigzags, figure eights, right? And now try both arms together. So do whatever you want. Feel that creative flow. Feel the freedom in your shoulders. You're moving, your body's moving, but there is no specific flow. You're just moving your arms, you're painting your dreams, you're writing your name. It's kind of like, do you remember when you were a kid and you used to do the sparklers? And you used to just wave the sparklers and do beautiful patterns. That's what I want you to do. So now you've got the energy flowing through your arms, through your fingers. Everything is starting to move, right? Everything is starting to move. So let's do a little bit of head tilt and shoulder shrugs as we're moving down. We're getting everything in place. So gently tilt your head to one side, right? As if you're kind of peeking around a curiosity corner, right? And then shrug your shoulders up to your ear and let them drop. Go to the center. Do the same thing. And then just peek around that other corner. Shrug your shoulders however you want. Shrug, and then move your shoulders back and forward. Move your head across and to the other side, right? We're just moving our bodies. We're allowing that creativity to go through our body. If you have time after this, a really great exercise is to play a short, fun piece of music and then just move however that music inspires you. You can tap your feet, you can sway, You can conduct an orchestra. You can do shoulder shimmies. Let's play TikTok. You can do anything you want. But what I want you to think about as we move our bodies today, I want you to try to just pick a little bit of a music, something that makes you feel good. So everyone has songs, and we talked about how songs can make you inspire you, right? Make you feel positive and excited and confident. So put something on that's inspiring to you and just do a little imaginary dance or whatever it is to move to the music. And it doesn't really matter what you do, it's entirely up to you. But now I want you to just gather a little more inspiration. I want you to inhale and sweep your arms out wide and up overhead as if you're gathering all that energy around you. And I want you to look up, and then I want you to exhale and slowly bring your hands down to your heart center and hold that inspiration within you. So let's go up, grab that energy, and then bring it down to heart center and hold it. We'll do it one more time. Inhaling, sweep it up, grab all that energy, and bring it down to heart center. Anything you can do to stretch, to move, that is all going to help your creative energy. There absolutely are so many studies that prove that we work better, we feel better, we have less stress when we move our bodies. And moving our bodies does not mean you must move at a gym and you must do 60 minutes of cardio. Actually just moving our arms, right? Moving our arms, moving our neck, moving our shoulders, rolling our shoulders, all of that is massive in terms of moving our bodies. So if it's just sitting in front of the TV and instead of sitting on the couch and lounging, why don't we sit on the floor, sitting up straight and just slowly stretching as we watch, right? Doesn't take a lot of effort, but even just doing a little shaking, a little hand movement as we're just watching TV will make a massive, massive difference. So we understand the philosophy of creativity, and we understand that breath work can help. We understand that movement can help. The other piece that really nourishes your creativity is about really nourishing your body, right? You have to nourish your body and not just your mind. So we really want to think about what is creator's fuel. Brain boosting bites, I guess I can think of it. So think of the foods that support your brain health and your sustained energy, right? We know that mixed nuts and seeds, walnuts, almonds, pumpkin seeds are really great. There's some berries. There's even, if you have a small square of dark chocolate, it can really be great for a creator's snack. These provide really healthy fats, antioxidants, and they do a little mood boost, right, to keep those innovative ideas flowing. So avoid those heavy, sugary snacks. Why? I'm not talking about weight, and I'm not talking about anything else other than they lead to energy crashes. So if you grab for that candy or whatever in the middle of the afternoon, you're going to have an energy crash. But if you grab for those handful of almonds or some berries, you are going to immediately increase your energy, and that's what you need to do. I would be very careful looking at protein bars and any of the ones that say they're giving you energy, like Red Bulls, everything else, because there are a lot of things in there that actually are not beneficial to you. So I always like to stick with healthy, whole foods. Real food is what I call it. So it's not been processed. So if you can get any, as I said, walnuts, seeds, anything that makes you, gives you that energy lift, that's what we want to do, okay? And really, I want you to think about, because we're all about creativity now this week, right? We're thinking outside the box. So I really want you to think about new experiences and inspirations, right? So try something new this week. Visit a new place in your neighborhood. Listen to music that you don't normally choose. Don't go to the same music playlist that you always choose. Go to a section of the library or your bookstore that you've never explored, right? Watch a documentary that you know nothing about, and you don't have to pay for any of these. You can go on YouTube and do all this, right? Or have a conversation with someone who has a different perspective than you. It's always a good one. I love when, Somebody we talk about something, we debate something, and then I go, wow, I didn't really look at it that way, and I learned something, and I bring that into my psyche, right? I bring that into my learning. And then, one of my favorites is just to literally spend 5 or 10 minutes observing nature. Look out, just look out at the beautiful colors and the palettes of what's in front of you. It's interesting that some of us, we might say we go for a walk and we put our podcasts on and our headphones and we walk, and we don't actually pay attention to where we're walking, and we miss the beauty of the trees and the flowers and the birds. And noticing all of that will, I guarantee you, spark your creativity in whatever you do. So, creativity, rediscovering creativity is a really amazing journey. And I'm hoping you've had a little bit of that journey today, because we've tapped into our playful spirit. We've looked at, creative blocks, I guess. And we've really thought about how we can renew your sense of, the ability to create, to innovate, and to express. Remember, creativity, like everything else, is a muscle. And the more you use it, the stronger and the more natural it becomes. So let's do, what's your challenge for this week? I give you guys a challenge each and every week. I hope you do it. But let's start with number one tiny creative act. So remember, just one small creative step that you committed to in your journal, right? You did that, right? You committed to one little thing you could do, 5-10 minutes. That's all you need. Pick your affirmation, right? So when self-doubt comes and whispers at you, you can counter it with something very simple, like, I am naturally creative. If you can't think of the rest of them, that one's a good one. I am naturally creative. I want you to really think about that playful input, right? So I want you to intentionally pick out something new music, a new walk in the park, a new conversation. Do something new for you. I want you to notice any micro creations. So I want you to actively look for and acknowledge those small ways that you are creative each and every day. Problem solving, arranging things. Now that I've pointed it out, you are more apt to actually acknowledge and see it, which is fantastic. So I really want you to think about what you do each and every day. And of course, share these new thoughts, share your sparkle, right? Share them in our forum. Leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you have thought about, because it's really, really important to bring that wonderful energy and openness to everything you do this week. So if you've liked this episode, I really want you to please subscribe and share it with someone that could benefit from it. And I want you to really think about going forth and letting that unique creative light shine brightly this week. Don't waste it. Go for it. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. It's been a pleasure with you this morning. Have a lovely, lovely day.
And that's a wrap for today's Sunday Morning Club session. Feeling inspired? Well, good. Keep riding that wave all week long. And don't forget to join me live every Sunday at 7 a.m. for real-time conversations. So if you miss a session, no worries. Grab the replays, sign up for our next big thing, and get all the juicy details at sunnymornings.club. So thanks for tuning in. Go out there and spark some magic in your life and in your business.